Hey everybody, it's Derek with the Swarm here. I got a brand new series, kind of inspired from what Jake over there with One Hive is doing. And we're going to do a little pick'ems, but we're going to kind of play a game with it. I'm going to get a guest every week. This week I have Brady. How you doing today, Brady?
I'm good. How are you, Derek? Thanks for having me on, man.
Oh, not a problem. I'm doing well too. So what we're going to kind of do is this will be apply to Brady and all the guests. We'll pick all the matchups. The only exception will be we will not pick the matchups that we're involved in. So I'll never be picking the Swarms matchup. Brady is another member of the Swarm. Will not be picking the Swarms matchup either, but we'll go ahead and pick the rest of them. Then at the end of the season, we'll kind of see who did a little bit better. If it was me, all my guests. And I think we're going to call this the prediction or the picks that are assured to go wrong. We'll start off with the first matchup of the week. We have the 1-1 Dark Looters taking on the 0-2 North Remember squad. On this one, Brady wanted me to start off first, so I'll go ahead. I'm going with Dark Looters on this one. I personally, even with their loss, think they are the premier clan in the CWL. I think they're the standard everybody is trying to build to. So I'm going with them. I think they'll get over 500 for the first time this season with the win in week 3.
um, I would have to go with Derek on this one. I think North Remembers is in a pretty big rebuilding period right now, and I think that coming off of the week 1 loss with Dark Looters and the bye, obviously last week, they're going to be coming into this matchup with vengeance, and I think they're going to really stick it to them. But I think it would be a good war. I think North Remembers has something to prove this war, and if they can put up a good fight, I think that would be a good confidence booster for them.
Oh, I agree. I was a clan I was a member of last season, North Watchers. We had a very close loss to Dark Looters kind of about 5 weeks before the season. It really springboarded us the rest of the way. So it's a nice showing from the North Remember squad. It definitely boost them going through the rest of this season. Next up, we have Clan Tanamo Bay and War Whales. On this one, I'm taking War Whales in this. It's just hard to bet against these guys. They have such a deep roster and an absolutely just amazing squad there. So, how about you, Brady? Who do you have in this one?
Well, I have to go with the War Whales too. I mean, they're after the week 1 victory over Dark Looters, they're clearly the premier clan right now. And I mean, and a lot of the guys there coming from NR last season and whatnot. It's like I know that they're really deep, and I mean, I think Clan Bay after a tough loss last week definitely has a lot to prove, and they could come out strong. But I think that it'll be not enough to take down War Whales.
Yeah, I think Tanamo Bay is a really strong squad. It's hard picking against those guys. I mean, War Whales is so deep, so good. They have so
Mm-hmm.
many people who can beat you any week. So that's
Mm-hmm.
just it's going to be tough. But hopefully, Clantanamo Bay can keep it interesting and close. And who knows? Maybe I'm sure they'll be using this as a little bit of motivation to go out this week and get a W.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
In our third matchup of this week, we have the Power COC squad taking on the Buy Forever guys. Power COC sits at 0-2. Buy Forever's at 1-1. Who do you got in this one, Brady?
Ooh, you're gonna make me go first.
I am.
I definitely got to go with Bye Forever. I think Bye Forever. I don't know. I was watching Jake's video last week, and he has them as their Cinderella story, and I have a very good feeling that Bye Forever will finish this season very strong, and I think that this will be a week where they come out hard against a very good team on Power COC, but I just think that it's going to be a little too little, or a little too much for Power COC to handle. I think Bye Forever is going to win, but it'll be close. It'll be 1 or 2 stars.
I agree with the last part of that. I definitely think it'll be close. I also went with Buy Forever here when I was making my picks. I mean, they had I'll give them credit. They had a 2-star loss to Spartan's Legacy, and Spartan's Legacy is, in my mind, one of the top 5 clans in the CWL. So being able to keep it that close in a war, I think, it's just very impressive. And I think they're going to come out like swinging for the fences this week and
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and pull off that victory.
Mm-hmm.
Power COC struggling a little bit. They had a loss to Faked Wargasm by 2 stars, so very, very close. And then they lost by 4 stars to Immoral Thieves. So I'm just kind of want to see them put together a win before I could pick them over like a Buy Forever squad. I think that's a very strong team to
I
get who
completely
gets the
agree.
win here. Next up in that last one for the division. Those two, the Minion division and the Hog division, going up against each other. We have Elite Gaming sitting at 0-2 with the Moral Thieves sitting at 2-0.
Mm.
And I'll go ahead since you wanted me to still start off a couple of these. I took a Moral Thieves. I just think Moral Thieves is very good. Heck, they're triple and tens with nines over there, so they must be doing something right.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I would Immortal Thieves is for sure my pick on that war. I mean, coming off like you said, the 9v10 triple last war, and um, I think they have a lot of confidence from that. And I spent some time in Immortal Thieves before the season started. A great group of guys, all very motivated. And I think that Elite Gaming had a strong performance last week against Sumi Codcat, but I think it's going to be not enough to take down a solid squad at Immortal Thieves.
Yeah, we'll see how that shakes out. Although as you know, I agree with you on that one. We'll go right into the next matchup. We have this clan you were just talking about, Zombie Cat, which I'm gonna struggle with saying all season, versus the Killer Bunnies, my personal clan that I think has the best name in the CWL. If there was an award for that, the Killer Bunnies would be getting that every week. Killer Bunnies does sit at 0-2 with Zombie Cat sitting at 1-1. Who you taking here, Brady?
Ooh, this I think is one of the toughest matchups to choose this week. I think Killer Bunnies is a squad that is very underrated, and I think that they have the potential to beat very good clans like Sumi Codcat. But I don't know. I feel that I may have to go with them this week. Yeah, I'm going to go with Killer Bunnies this week over Sumi Codcat. I think Sumi Codcat has been very solid in the last few weeks, but I think this is a week where they're going to be upsetted.
Wow, I'm a little shocked you went that way. I mean, I can
Mm,
understand it. I think they got a decent core there, but I think after Zombie Cat's week one loss to, I believe it was Spartan's Legacy, right?
mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're going to come out. They're going to keep kind of taking their momentum from week two, get a W here. I guess this is finally good. We finally have a different pick, and only took the first going through
Yeah,
the
I mean,
five matches.
I'm a big supporter of the underdogs.
You know what? I got a couple of them when I was making up my picks. I went with a couple underdogs that I thought you might go the other way, um, and I just wanted to kind of have some differences there, kind of some squads I believe in. So we'll go ahead. We'll see those in a little bit. Next up,
Hmm.
and this next up, and this is the hardest matchup I had to pick. I think I kind of went back and forth. I wanted to do an upset here. It was Faked Wargasm versus Spartan's Legacy, and
Hmm.
I took Spartan's Legacy, but I really struggled picking this one. I think those guys at Faked Wargasm are really kind of killing it right now, and they have that
Hmm.
opportunity. But I can't pick against Spartan's Legacy. You know, like they're
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah, so I've actually did pick against Spartan's Legacy this war though. So I do have faked Wargasm over Spartan's Legacy. I think Spartan's Legacy obviously is one of the top clans in the CWL right now, but I think that in the Swarm we have a pretty close knit connection with faked Wargasm, and I mean they have a great group of people over there, and they have just been thriving recently. And I really just believe that this week they're going to come out of the gates firing, and they're just going to give their all to Spartan's Legacy, and I think they'll nick them by one. I think it's going to be a very close war. Even if it goes the other way, I think it's going to be definitely the war of the week in my opinion. But we'll definitely see what happens after. But I think that will be a great war.
Man, I have a different kind of one is the war of the week, but I agree with you. I think it's going to be close. Even when I'm picking Spartan's Legacy, if they were to win by more than 2 stars, I would be very surprised. This fake Wargasm squad has come out
Hmm.
just looking really good so far this season. I think it'll keep it nice and close. Next
Hmm.
up, we have Beast Mode versus Bada Bing Clan. Beast Mode sitting at 2-0, a very strong start to this season, and
Hmm.
Bada Bing Clan sitting at 1-1. I believe they did have their loss was to War Whale, so certainly nothing wrong with that loss from them. Who do you got in this one, Brady?
Well, I mean, Beast Mode in this matchup is who I'll choose. I mean, Beast Mode's come out this season firing. I mean, end of last season they beat NR last week, and I guess I think that was a really big confidence booster for them. And I think that coming into the season, you've seen that they've beat very solid clans, and I think that they're going to continue to be a a presence in the community, and I think that this war they'll be bada bing pretty handedly. I'm going about 5 or 6 stars.
I didn't think it'd be that far. I also took beast mode in this. I just think they're one of those clans that are clicking on all cylinders at the start of the season. They're going to continue that. It'll be interesting to see when we get to the bye if that happens to cool them off at all. But
Hmm.
I I don't know. I don't know if Bada Bing Clan's going to be able to keep it that close. Sometimes you just face it. It's nothing against you. You just face a clan that's hot at that time, and it is
Hmm.
hard to pick up that
Yeah,
W.
yeah, and I think that beast mode is very hot right now, and I think that they're just firing at all cylinders, and I think that that's what's gonna win them that war.
Exactly. I agree 100%. That's exactly why I picked them. In the final matchup between the Valkyrie division and the Golem division, we have Cold September versus One Hive 2.0.
Mm.
I'm going ahead. I'm taking One Hive 2.0 in this matchup. I don't know what Cold September is going to be.
Hmm.
It's very difficult right now. I know their clan's kind of in flux. They got some people coming in, so that's good. Like they're going to be able to field the roster, but I don't know what that's going to be. It's kind of you got some new faces there. Are they going to gel? Are they going to be able to kind of click on all cylinders? I hope so. I hope, however it gets worked out, it happens very, very quickly for them. But I think that kind of thing takes more than a week, so I'm giving the edge to One Hive 2.0.
Yeah, and I'm going to say the same thing. I think I'm really interested to see how Cold September bounces back from obviously last week in their forfeit. But I mean, I don't know. I think Cold September has a great squad, but I think that coming off a week like they had last week, it's really hard to give them the edge in a war against anyone right now. So I definitely will give that W to One Hive 2.0, coming off a very nice win over NR last week.
Yeah, they did. It was a score was a little misleading. I know both sides had
Hmm.
people miss some attacks. Unfortunately for the NR squad, it was an 11, which is just really hard when that happens. So next, we'll take on our division, some of our division picks here, the Hound division taking on the Witch division for the second time this season. And we haven't won one of my two matchups in consideration for War of the Week, PWC versus War and Glory.
Hmm.
Uh, and I think this is going to be a big matchup. Both squads are really strong. War and Glory just tearing up this early season, sitting there at 1-1, while PWC also at 1-1, both coming off wins in week two. Brady, who you taking in this matchup?
This is a very tough one as well. I mean, PwC bounced back huge from week one last week and through a very good war. War and Glory as well has been very strong. This is definitely one of the toughest ones to choose, but I think I'm going to have to go with PwC. I think coming off of their week one loss to the Swarm, they really had a lot to prove, and I think last week they really did prove themselves. And I think that as much as War and Glory is an amazing clan, I think that PwC is going to win this war, but it'll be close. I get another 1-2 star victory at most.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'll be very, very close here. Um, they're both, I mean, both came off of PwC had a 6-star victory up against Midwinters just last week. War and Glory had a 7-star victory versus Tactical Inc. And that, I think it's going to be very close. I'm also taking PwC. I like them a lot coming into this season. Little shocked at the performance. I know some other kind of
Mm-hmm.
factors happened when they played us over in the Swarm in week one, but I like them. They got a couple good buddies in that clan. Shout out to the Holy Buck and the Jamie Jaime combination. I think they're really going to kind of keep putting things together. And in this very close war, I'll go ahead and give it to you. I think it's going down to percentage.
Wow.
And that's where I think PwC is going to take the edge in something as close as that. But I don't think it goes, I mean, even at the high end of difference, I don't think it goes more than 1 star.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But obviously, we won't be picking these matchups, but 6 Schlitzes will be facing us over in the Swarm this weekend. So obviously, good luck to you guys over there at 6S. Um, good luck to the Swarm squad here. So we'll just skip right on down. We got Emphatic Elite. It's sitting at I think it's a very surprising 2-0. I don't think many people would have picked them to be 2-0 this into 2 weeks into this season versus a Reddit Alchemy squad that is sitting down at 1-1. Um, who do you got in this one, Brady?
Ooh, it's a very tough choice. Again, I think that Emphatic Elite has been another clan in this CWL this season that's been a surprise to most. I mean, they had two very solid wins over North Watchers and Mariana Trench, and I think those are two very solid clans from last season, both playoff teams. So I definitely think that Emphatic Elite will take the win on this week. And I think, but again, it will be a solid war. I don't know much about Reddit Alchemy. I know they struggled in season one, and I think they're 1-1 now. You said so. They
Yeah.
definitely could put up a good war, but I just think that Emphatic Elite running at 2-0, I think has a lot of confidence, and they've beat two very solid teams. So I have to give that to them. I'd be lying to say that I knew much about either of these clans though. So I'm just going off of the victories that Emphatic Elite has had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's it's hard to keep track of that many clans. So I certainly get it. There's certain clans I don't know a ton about, and sometimes that skews the kind of perception or my perception of them because I only see them through other clans recaps or other clan streams and so on. And this one I did kind of I picked the upset here. I went with Reddit Alchemy. I
Mm.
think that Emphatic Elite has had two very close wars. I've seen some of the stats from their wars. I actually watched their stream versus Mariana Trench. They had some issues at the 11v10 game. I'm certain that they'd be sitting there saying they did, and that's an area they want to improve on. And I think that Reddit Alchemy's kind of due. I really think they're going to pull off an upset here, kind of record wise. They came off a 1-star victory of Annihilate in week one, had a just 9-star loss to Reddit Omega. Reddit Omega is one of those really great clans, great base building, great attacking. I think they're going to come out with a vengeance, pull off a W, and get to 2-1 on this season. Okay, in the last matchup here for the Hound Witch Division matchup, we have that aforementioned Annihilate squad taking on North Watchers. Annihilate sitting at 0-2, Watchers sitting at 0-2. One of them is getting their first win of the season. Who is it?
Ooh, another tough matchup. Again, I'm going to have to go with Annihilate. I think that Annihilate's a very solid squad. I think that they have a very tight knit connection with PwC, and PwC is an amazing clan. And I just feel that Annihilate has had a few first tough weeks, and I think that coming into week 3, I think they're going to be really looking for that first win, and I think that Annihilate will pull that off.
Yeah, Annihilate coming off a loss to One Hive in week 2. They had the loss to Reddit Alchemy, as we just talked about. I think it's going to be a close war. I know a lot of the guys over there at Watchers. They've actually, frankly, I think impressed a lot of people who've been paying attention with their. They had two 11v11 triples last week, and I want to say I know in week 1 they had 4 10v10s. So it's just some of these other areas that they need to improve on, but I think they get it done this week. I think they get their first win of the season and send Annihilate down to 0-3. Next up, we have certainly in consideration for War of the Week, we have the undefeated One Hive squad of the Bowler Division taking on the also undefeated squad of the P.E.K.K.A. Division, Dark Looters Z. I gotta toss it off to you, Brady. Who do you want in
Throwing
this
at
one?
me again first.
Uh,
Ooh, I mean, again, like you said, it's a very tough matchup. I'm gonna have to go with One Hive though. One Hive is a very good group of players. I know a lot of the guys over there, and I think that going into this week, obviously it's gonna be a tough matchup. But I think Dark Looters Z is gonna give them a fight. But I think that One Hive, coming off their amazing season 1 performance, is gonna come into this war ready to go and really firing on all cylinders. I think, again, it's going to be a very tight war. I actually am going to go out and say that this war is going to be won by One Hive on percentage. I think that it will be a very good war.
Wow, down to percentage there. I agree with you. I'm also taking One Hive. I got a little bit different motivation. I think they'll kind of be looking to stick it to that Dark Looter's name after the championship loss. And it doesn't matter that it's not the guys who did it, it's that Dark Looter Z squad, but I think when they see that name pop up there, they're going to have just that little extra in the tank this week to kind of avenge that championship loss there. They're also looking really strong this season. I'm just going with One Hive. I think they're certainly in contention to be in the championship again this season. Just a really deep squad, in my opinion, one of the 2 or 3 best squads in the Barbarian King Conference. And next, for our second matchup of the P.E.K.K.A. and Bowler division, we have a kind of a surprising 0-2 Mariana Trench team taking on a 1-1 Reddit Omega team. I'll go ahead. I've been tossing them off to you. I'll take one of the first ones here. I went with Reddit Omega on this. I just think they're different ends of the spectrum in their levels of play right now. That Reddit Omega is on fire. They had a loss to One Hive, but there's nothing wrong. Like that's good. It's good as a loss as you can get. Mariana Trench struggled. As I said, I was watching that stream with the Emphatic Elite Mariana Trench matchup, struggling with that 11v10 game. I think if you make those kind of mistakes up against a squad like Reddit Omega, you are not going to get out there with a win. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick Omega in this one. I think they go ahead and improve to 2-1.
Yep, I completely agree. Mariana Trench has been struggling this season so far. I think that as the season progresses, I think that they'll bounce back. But right now, Omega's looking really good. I definitely think that this war will be won by Omega, and I think it'll be pretty handily. I don't think it's going to be 6-7 stars, but I think 4 or 5.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be not a blowout, but a sizable enough margin of victory that it's not really going to be questioned on that one. So next up, we have these clans mentioned don't really know a lot about. Concha, the Japanese clan, versus WHF. I'll go ahead, and I gave you a bunch, so I'll at least step up to the plate here. So I don't know a lot about Concha. I know they're very good up top. I was kind of I was watching a little bit of their stream, getting it fed back, some information fed back to me early when they were playing 6S in week 2, a war they ended up going on to lose, so they are sitting at 0-2. They were telling me very early they had like 2 10v10s and 1 11v11, so something kind of a little unorthodox. Most clans are not doing an 11v11 that early, and I believe they're very talented up top. Unfortunately, after we have just played WHF, and I'll be honest, a clan I am thoroughly impressed with and surprised at how talented and how good those bases were. I thought they were kind of on the ropes in the middle of last season. They have come out with a bang. I don't know what they did for hitting the recruiting trails, if they kind of contacted maybe John Calipari or something to get some of these guys, but they're looking really good. I'm picking WHF, and I'm picking WHF in a 4 or 5 star victory.
Yep, I completely agree. I think what was on her face is looking to bounce back from last week against, obviously, with their loss against the Swarm. But I think Concha is obviously a clan that has shown that they're very talented. They beat they lost to Six Schlitzes last week in a very close war. And I think that definitely impressed me. But I think that was on her face coming off the loss last week is going to really stick it to Concha. And I'm thinking it's going to be, like you said, 5 or 6 stars.
Yeah, sometimes it does not pay to kind of play that squad that kind of got hit in the mouth last week. And that, for better or worse for WHF, that's what happened last week, or against the Swarm last week. So I think they're going to come out swinging and really wanting to stick it to whomever they had to face. Unfortunately for Concha, that was them this week. In the final matchup this week, we have one that I thought it was pretty hard to. I went back and forth on this one a couple times. It was Midwinters at 0-2 versus a 1-1 Tactical Inc. squad.
Ooh, all right. Well, we just matched Tactical Inc. in a random war, and I haven't really looked at them much before that. But I think that Midwinters has shown that they are a good squad, but I think they've been struggling this season so far. So I'm going to have to give the W to Tactical Inc. I don't know enough about this war to really give a very in-depth reason, but I think that Tactical Inc. has known to be a pretty solid clan, and I think that they'll pull it out this week. But in a close war, I think it's going to be very close.
I agree. I also took Tactical Inc. here. I just think, Midwinters is kind of struggling a little bit. They had a 5-star loss to WHF and then the 6-star loss to PWC. So they've had a just tough season to open this up. Tactical Inc. coming off a 7-star loss to War and Glory. But I think they go ahead and get the victory here, improve to 2-1 on the season, sending Midwinters to that kind of dreaded 0-3. I know we got, I think a couple of clans we picked against here would be falling to that if all our picks, well, if our picks shake out that way. I'll go ahead. I'm going to put up all our picks with the matchups on the screen right now. Anything you want to say before we head off, Brady?
All right, well, thanks for having me on, man. I definitely think I'm gonna win this. I think I'm gonna get every matchup right, but then you'll
Well,
be a little farther behind.
that we'll find out. I have a feeling, like I said, these are the picks assured to go wrong. I think I'll go ahead and have most of my picks end up being wrong. But hey, that's half the fun. We'll see who can, if my
Exactly.
guests or me can take the title at the end
Exactly.
of the season. Thanks for coming on, Brady.
Thank you so much, man.
See you guys.
Yeah.